In the last video, I introduced you the JavaScript syntax extension JSX, which React uses a lot. In this tutorial, I will cover more advanced JSX by showing you some powerful tricks and some errors to avoid. You have seen that the grammar in JSX is mostly the same as in HTML, but there are still small differences to watch out for. For example, in HTML, class is often used as an attribute name. In JSX, we cannot use the word class because JSX gets translated into JavaScript and class is a reserved word in JavaScript. We just use className instead. So just to show you an example, I will create a const variable named my div, and this will be equal to a div element containing a class name as an attribute. So this will be set equal to big. Alright, then we write I am a big div. So once we have done that, we go to the render method and we type div. So we are rendering this variable. As you can see, we are getting this as a result. So if we go to the developer tool, you will see that the JSX attribute is automatically rendered as a normal class attribute. So it's not class name anymore. Another thing that is involved in JSX are the self-closing tags, which you also might have seen in HTML. For example, we have some HTML elements like image and input that only use a single tag, or also called a self-closing tag. In HTML, we can write a self-closing tag with or without a forward slash. In JSX, on the other hand, we will have to include the slash, since if not, we will get an error. So removing the forward slash before the angle bracket would cause an error. So far in React, we have focused on writing HTML inside a JavaScript file. Now we will learn how to write regular JavaScript inside the JSX expression. As an example, I will calculate two numbers inside a header element. So I will just add curly brackets, and inside these curly brackets I will add 3 plus 3. I'm gonna save this. So as you can see, we are getting the exact value of this calculation because we have wrapped it inside curly brackets. So because of the curly brackets, this calculation will be treated as the regular JavaScript and not JSX. When we inject JavaScript into JSX like we did here, that piece of JavaScript code is part of the same environment as the rest of the JavaScript on our file. This means that we can access variables while we are inside of a JSX expression, even if those variables were declared from the outside. So as an example, I will create a variable called name, and I will assign this to Jarvis. So then I will try to access this variable inside the JSX expression. So I will write hello I am, and then I will access this variable inside the curly brackets. So let's say name. So if we save this and we refresh the page, as you can see, we're getting these results. So hello, I am Jarvis. Later on, using JSX, you will see that it is common to use variables to set attributes. So just to show you an example for that, I'm going to create a variable called site length, and this will be set equal to 300 pixels. Then we move on creating an object. So let's say New York image, and we will set equal to an image tag containing attributes like source. So on the source we will inject the image that we have imported, so in this case it will be New York, and we will also add height. Here we are going to inject the site length, so we are going to access this variable here. Alright, so we'll write site length. So the same thing goes for width too. Width, site length. So once we are done with that, we go to the render method and we type in New York image. So we refresh. As you can see, we're getting this image. We have 300 pixel height and width. JSX elements can have event listeners just like HTML elements can. You can create an event listener by giving a JSX element a special attribute. So this example right here would only work if this function was a valid function that had been defined somewhere. So just to show you an example how this works, I will create a program that does show up the photo of New York. Then when you click on it, you should see a photo of LA. So first I'm going to import the two images from the images folder. So let's say import New York images. Then we import another image for Los Angeles. So then I'm going to create a function called make LA. I'm gonna use E as a parameter, and inside the function body I'm going to add the set attribute for source. So let's say E source, and this will be Los Angeles for the alt attribute. So this will be, let's say, Los Angeles wrapped inside double quotes. Alright, so then I'm going to create an object called New York. So let's say const New York, and this object will be assigned to an image tag. So this image tag will contain a one-click event listener. So one click will be assigned to the make LA function, and will also include the source attribute. This will be assigned to New York, and alt will be assigned to, let's say, New York. Once I'm done with this, I will print this object on the render method. So then we save the changes and we refresh the page. As you can see, we are getting the image of New York. So if we click on the photo, we will get an image of Los Angeles. So what I have done here, I have created a one-click event listener and I have set it equal to a make LA function. It means that when the image gets clicked, a make LA function gets executed and the attributes will change the images. In the next tutorial, we're going to learn how React components work. Thanks for watching.